Welcome back, everyone. After overwhelming support for same-sex marriage in Ireland, Australia is now considering a bill that would legalise the unions.
Now, Lynda Kinkade has been monitoring these developments for us. Joins us now live here on set. OK, tell us about it, the significance.
This is hugely significant in Australia. It's the first time ever that a major political party has backed a bill that would see the overturn of the ban on same-sex marriage. Now, it was introduced by the opposition leader Bill Shorten, and as a lot of gay advocates pointed out, this is a long time coming. After the Irish vote, Australia is only one of a handful of developed nations that still opposes gay marriage. Have a look at this. There were huge smiles, even tears. This was an historic victory. Last month, nearly two-thirds of people in Ireland voted yes to marriage equality, becoming the first country to ask its people to legalise gay marriage. Every major political party in the country supported the Yes campaign. It was a significant development in a country where homosexuality was a criminal offence until the 1990s.
The message from this small independent republic to the entire world is one of dignity and freedom and tolerance, liberté, fraternité, égalité.
It was a message that was heard on the other side of the world, in Australia. One leader wants people there to have the same rights.
This is a long overdue change.
Opposition leader Bill Shorten introducing a private member's bill to change the definition of marriage from between one man and a woman to the union of two people.
It is time. The right time to make marriage equality a reality.
Almost his entire Labor Party was behind him, but they faced empty seats. Prime Minister Tony Abbott and most of his Liberal Party were absent in Parliament. Mr Abbott is a Conservative and a staunch Catholic, although his sister is gay. While he conceded that there were varying views within his party, his response to the bill: let's focus on budget issues. This can wait.
We don't have to do everything immediately.
The bill introduced by the Labor Party won't affect religious acts of marriage.
If your priest doesn't want to consecrate a same-sex marriage in your church or your mosque or your synagogue, you still won't have to. This bill is not telling religion how to practice religion. It's just saying let's respect all people, all Australians, and allow marriage equality.
Now, only 5 members of the Prime Minister's party were present when this bill was introduced, and the Leader of the Opposition gave this rousing speech saying this is the 44th Parliament and we must rise up and mark the moment. So the House of Representatives have voted to adjourn the debate on the bill, which will happen in spring, about 3 months from now.
So obviously lawmakers clearly split on this, but what about the people? What do the opinion polls show?
Well, surprisingly, there's a great deal of support in Australia. The opinion polls show that most Australians back same-sex marriage. And just last week, a lot of the big companies in Australia put out a full-page ad in the Australian newspaper. I want to show you this. This was an ad paid for by these companies. Companies like Google and Bain and BCG and Qantas and all the big banks in Australia calling for marriage equality. So there's clearly a lot of support in Australia for it.
Corporate world as well.
The corporate world getting behind this.
Yeah.
And yet the politicians. 5 government MPs in the House to listen to it.
Exactly, only 5. And of course, among some of the smaller parties, there is a bit of disagreement about the way this was carried out. The Greens, one of the smaller parties, thinks Bill Shorten should have waited to introduce this bill once he had more support from the other major parties, because it had a higher chance of success if he had more support. But he said he doesn't think the Prime Minister is ever going to support this bill. As you know, the Prime Minister was training to be a priest once upon a time.
Yeah, but his sister is gay.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to mention that.
That's extraordinary. Most Australians are behind it, a lot of big businesses are behind it, but 5 MPs from the government show up to listen to it. Interesting stuff.
Yeah. Thanks so much,
Lynda.
Lynda Kinkade.
Thank you.